It's no secret that game developers have been stealing from James Cameron's Aliens for the past couple of decades. From the weapons loadout in Doom, to the headcrabs in Half-Life, to the, well, almost everything in Halo. When it comes to the first-person shooter genre, the acid-soaked DNA of Aliens is everywhere. Thus, making a video game sequel to Cameron's sci-fi epic can't have been an easy task for developer Gearbox Software. Not only have they had to contend with the enormous weight of fan expectation, but also the unavoidable truth that a lot of the film's freshest concepts have become mere cliches in the world of gaming. Unfortunately, after some 6 years in development, the task of making a great Aliens game has clearly proven too difficult for the house that built Borderlands.
Attention chicks and dicks of the USS Sephora! As of right this second, Rhino 2-1 and Rhino 2-3 are fighting to get a hold of the situation we're in. We don't leave Marines behind!
Gearbox has certainly nailed the look and the sound of the Aliens universe. From the muted heartbeat and nervous shrieks of the motion tracker to James Horner's evocative marching band music, and the lighting that blooms out of the otherwise shadowed environments, the game makes a decent show of convincing you that you're in the world created by Sid Mead and H.R. Giger. Access to Mead's original set designs has meant that every inch of the spaceship Sulaco, the abandoned colony of Hadley's Hope, and the derelict spacecraft from the original Alien, complete with the iconic space jockey, have been rendered down to the smallest detail. There are also plenty of Easter eggs to track down throughout each level. Check out what happens if you empty an ammo clip into the space jockey's head. It's a shame that the console versions of the game suffer from a severe lack of optimization. Low-resolution textures, screen tearing, and last-generation particle effects make for a game that lags behind the rest of the pack from a visual standpoint. It's not unplayably bad, but it's certainly below par.
Are you out of your damn mind?
Winner, grab your torch. Get me the hell out of here.
So, Aliens Colonial Marines works great as an interactive science fiction museum, but unfortunately as a first-person shooter it doesn't fare quite so well. A big part of the reason is that it fails to create any kind of tension or evoke any sense of dread. This is partly because the game shuns modern FPS convention by allowing you to carry a dozen or so overpowered weapons at once, thereby making you feel like an unstoppable killing machine, but mostly because it's hard to feel even remotely threatened by the Xenos when they so mindlessly leap in front of your crosshairs. Both the Xenos and the Weyland-Yutani soldiers that you come up against are completely idiotic. And so the game's 6-hour campaign plays out with all the strategy of a coin-operated shooting gallery. The repetition is only alleviated on a handful of occasions by a clumsy melee sequence in the power loader or a stylishly superficial stomp down an alien-infested hallway with a smart gun. Indeed, when it comes to set pieces, this isn't exactly Call of Duty. According to Gearbox, Colonial Marines is meant to answer the question of what happened to Corporal Hicks and the colony of Hadley's Hope after the events of the Aliens film. Sadly, the answer to that question appears to be somewhat of an indifferent shrug. Just as the game's campaign is threatening to do something remotely interesting with its plot, you blink and miss one of the worst endgame boss fights in recent memory, and all of a sudden it's game over, man. Game over. No, seriously. Once the campaign has quickly reached its abrupt end, you can either do it all again in 4-player co-op, or hop into one of the 4 separate online modes that allow players to take control of both human Marines and a handful of different xenomorphs. Escape is the pick of these modes. It's essentially a Left 4 Dead style survival mode that hustles you from point A to point B, but criminally only 2 maps have been included for it, so it gets old pretty fast. Another complaint that's common across all of the multiplayer modes is that the xenomorphs are slightly awkward to control and feel largely underbalanced compared to the gun-toting Marines. These alien bastards really can't catch a break. Aliens Colonial Marines looks like Aliens and sounds like Aliens, but unfortunately it just doesn't feel like Aliens. Instead, it feels indistinguishable from almost every shooter you've played in the past 20 years. Worse still, PS3 and 360 owners are forced to endure some truly shocking graphical glitches that put a dampener on an already average experience. There are some feelings of nostalgia to be enjoyed, but it soon wears off and all that is left is some bog-standard run-and-gun action that brings little new to the FPS table. Colonial Marines has definitely been crafted with love for the Aliens franchise, it just needed a lot more imagination and polish. For more on Aliens Colonial Marines, point your motion tracker at IGN.com.